Felicity, you have no idea what kind of a pleasure it is just to meet you finally. I understand it's kind of like the thing with the elephant in the room. You're here to promote Inferno, but there's this other movie where everybody's going to talk about. It's about the universe, the theory of everything. That was such a great movie. I thought you, as a wife, you were like the perfect one. There's like she's so loving, she's so dedicated. Any similarities to your role in Inferno?
I thought you were going to mention a different film then, so
Would
I love it.
Come on, I'm a professional. I'm not going to talk about stuff in the future, like the stars.
Of course. I always like the difference between the roles, actually, rather than trying to look for similarities. And actually, I'd say they're very different. They feel like different
Isn't she
beasts.
loving, dedicated?
She is, but her dedication, and I will not reveal anything, her dedication is not quite in the same humane way that Jane's was.
So is she a rather strong or a rather weak person then? I mean, you mentioned that in the book she's described as a very highly intelligent. She plays chess, although she's not playing it in the movie. So is she more like a weak link or the strong link?
I feel she's a human in the sense that she has great strength, she has conviction, she has determination, but also she is flawed. You know, like all of us. She has moments of weakness and vulnerability. So I would hope that she has both.
As far as I could observe it, like Tom Hanks in the past and also other actors had always make sure that people understand that they're just actors, that there has nothing to do with Dan Brown theory when it comes to the church. It's not blasphemic and all of these kind of things. But this movie, it's less about church, but about a theory in general when it comes to the human race, where you cannot deny there's a moment where you feel like, yeah, but maybe this madman theory is not that mad after all. Or, I mean, does that make me a bad person if I would agree that some of the things said there are making sense?
Not at all. I think it's rooted in a genuine cause and genuine concern, and that's what makes the film, I think, quite exhilarating to watch. Is you're going, okay, no, he's not just a baddie who you can easily dismiss and put him in a box. Is that you're going, actually, no, this really resonates, some of his arguments. It's just that they are taken to an extent that is not sane and rational and a good idea. But I would say, absolutely, the seeds of that ideology is very empathetic.
Coming back to The Theory of Everything, which was like a very highly critically acclaimed movie, Redmayne got his Academy Award after this. This is a very James Bond-ish type of movie, I would say, like very entertaining. Is it that in the future we will see more of you in terms of The Theory of Everything, or is it that you like this entertainment things where it's about entertaining people, eating popcorn and being like, yeah, go girl?
I think both. I don't see why you shouldn't have great storytelling, great characters, and it be really fun and exciting to watch. And I think that's when cinema really is at its best. And whether you're telling a story like Jane and Stephen's, I still don't think just because it's dramatic it should be boring. It should still be interesting and entertaining. So I would continue to hope to tell stories that I think are cool.
So near future, more stories or more?
More stories, and actually I wouldn't discriminate against. I think sometimes you can be a bit snobby about, a film being on a bigger scale, and actually when you come down to it, you think, actually, no, this is a great character and this is a really important or interesting story. And I think as long as you feel like you have those two, then why not?
Because to be honest, I'm very surprised because you look gorgeous. That's no. I mean, that's the truth.
So do you. You look great.
Thank you. See, that makes me kind of nervous. The thing is, I feel like I'm just gonna get into hell when I mention it. The thing is, I was very surprised when I heard that the next big project I will see and is less than what I saw like in The Theory of Everything, where every close-up was like absolutely touching. And this year also it has kind of a turn where I was like, I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
So I was really surprised that you will go further into space, for example. Just if that's allowed for a last question.
No, not at all. It's it was an opportunity to play a great character, and a great character at the center of a story. And actually, the first thing when I heard about the film from my agent, she just said, "This is a brilliant female character, and I think you're going to really like it. And it turned out that it was. So I don't feel like, because it's on a slightly bigger scale, that I've in any way sort of lost a sense of the complexity of the character.
Okay, once again, it was a pleasure, and I can't wait just to see you again.
Lovely, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for your questions.
Well,
Great.
thank you. Well, Howard, such an honor to meet you.
Thank you.
And I must say, you must be a terrible person, because I haven't met anyone who said anything bad about you. Even Danny Brühl. Danny Brühl, you familiar with that?
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he started Rush.
Yes.
Rush. So I asked him, like, okay, give me some juicy information about Ron Howard. He's like, oh, he's an absolute darling. He's like all-American, like in the best way to think of it. He has never been stressed, never been loud on set, no matter like the circumstances, especially like Rush was apparently like a smaller budget than in comparison to the other ones.
Yes.
And he spoke highly of you as anyone else. So what's that secret? Is it perhaps, I don't want to be the first one who's asking you about it, has it to do with the fact that you used to be an actor back in the days and now a director, or what is it?
You know what? I grew up on movie and television sets, and so I'm very comfortable there. I think I'm more comfortable on a set than I am anywhere else except maybe my living room. So I like to be there. It's sometimes it's stressful for me, but I enjoy the collaborations. I love the people. And I think it's just my nature. There are a lot of directors who get a lot of great work done, who are cranky and loud, and people are on eggshells working with them, but they still do fantastic work. So I don't think that one thing necessarily leads to the other. But I actually love it on the set, and I love the creative problem solving. I like collaborating with these great actors. It's an honor for me, and it's also just diverting. There are a lot of laughs. It's fun. Dan Brown kind of a movie. You're going on an adventure together. It's a joy.
But the impression that I had after watching Inferno was like, it really has that James Bond-ish kind of appeal.
Yeah.
So wouldn't it be kind of like more appealing for you just to rather go for the real deal, for the real James Bond instead of for Inferno? Or is it really that you feel like, this is my baby now, Dan Brown and me, I like this?
Well, I love the Robert Langdon character. I like the fact that he's not solving these global problems in a sort of a typical action hero way with shooting, kicking, punching, leaping out of planes. I love that he's driven by his curiosity, but Robert Langdon has a lot of humanity, and I like that he solves the problems without guns. He gets and so I think it makes him a special kind of movie hero, and I'm glad to be a part of that.
Well, also like in the beginning, there were kind of like critics that said, "Oh, that's too blasphemic. This entire subject is really kind of too much criticizing something,"
right.
and it wasn't really, for that matter. And now this time is like so far apart from the others. I actually even felt a little like a madman, because like in the beginning, there's this theory about our life, and I'm like, yeah, but he's somewhat right.
He's somewhat right. Well, that's what's great about this. I think like our cinematography, the editing, the pace, Hans Zimmer's score, it's much more contemporary. It's edgier. It's a little more psychological. It's a little stranger. And I think part of that is because in this particular case, our controversy, that issue that's pushing the mystery along, is not philosophical. It's not theology. It doesn't exist in the past. This is a crisis of the moment, and I think it did a lot of good things. As a director, I had to use different muscles to stage these scenes and edit them to create that pace.
And in which way do you think really a lot of has changed during like in the process of doing a movie production? I mean, when you started doing like your first independent movie, and now into this one, has it changed a bit ever since?
Well, I think it's digital technology is pushing everything along. It's making the world a smaller place. It's different creative styles are being shared. I often go online and actually look at what other people are doing. Like if they visited a place, how did they shoot it? What did they do? If they made a short little film, what kind of style did they use? And it's giving even big screen movies a different kind of energy. And I tried to apply some of that sort of modern aesthetic to this movie to give you that feeling that it's happening now. This isn't something. This is not classic. This is totally modern.
And the last one, it's the last one.
Okay.
Are you happy that most of the people just ask you things about this movie when someone who did also Frost Nixon would be like the perfect example just to talk about modern politics?
Well, you know, I have my clear views, and I think if you follow me on Twitter, you can kind of get an idea of which way I'm going politically in the United States. But you know, this is what I like about the Dan Brown movies, to be honest, is that they do touch on politics. They do touch on important issues while they aim to entertain and give people, you know, a fun, energetic kind of mystery experience.
And he was kind of right.
Yeah.
Thank you about that.
Take care.
Thank you so much.